Anyway, that's like Oprah. You want to know how Oprah would do in the Democrat presidential debates? That's Oprah for you.
She'd give everybody a car to win.
Yeah. Okay, now let's be serious now. This is a serious issue. Do you know that there is a presidential candidate who went on a honeymoon in the Soviet Union in the late 1980s? Can you guess who that might have been?
Bill Clinton.
No.
Honeymoon, then.
Current presidential candidate.
Oh.
Try your favorite communist, Bernie Sanders.
Oh.
June 13th, 1988. Now, you can find the video. This is shocking. You can go out there and find the video. If you go out and you type Bernie Sanders honeymoon Soviet Union and look for the video by Hal Turner, because some of them are people talking about the video. And I just want you to watch the video itself, because here he is sitting at a table, no clothes on. Everybody at the table is devoid of clothing. The table is full of empty bottles of vodka. And they're singing. Just so you know, what happened was the Burlington Town Council took a group over to the Soviet Union to examine this wonderful system that they have. Now, we're going to play a little bit of the video clip for you so you can get an idea of what's going on there. And then we're going to switch and tell you some of what Bernie said afterwards. So here you go. Go watch this video.
Or don't.
Now,
Those aren't
the
bodies
lady
ever.
who's speaking right now, Bertie is sitting next to her without a shirt on, and God knows what else he doesn't have on. Okay, she's saying basically they need to sing another song because one side of the table sang a song. It's hard to hear because she's apparently been drinking. But here they go. Okay, that's enough of that.
It's
you can
enough.
watch the video yourself. They're singing, "This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land." If you didn't know, that's an old communist song. That is a communist song, but that's what they're singing. They're in Moscow, Russia. Now, if you don't believe me, listen to what Bernie Sanders had to say once he got back. And this is him speaking to the town council in Burlington. Listen.
I think it's also fair to point out that when we were in Moscow, for example, I think most of the people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. The stations themselves were absolutely beautiful, including many works of art, chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system.
Very effective.
Also, I was impressed by the youth programs that they have, their palaces of culture for the young people, a whole variety of of programs for young people, and cultural programs which go far beyond what we do in this country. We went to a theater in Yaroslavl, which was absolutely beautiful, had 3 separate stages where cultural programs are put on by professional actors and actresses, including a puppeteer area. And the cost, the highest price of a ticket that you can get was the equivalent of $1.50.
Okay, now you can go out and get this also. Listen to him talking about when he went to Moscow, and following him is his wife, Jane Sanders, praising it. And remember, they went to Moscow the day after they got married. So this was their honeymoon. They honeymooned in the Soviet Union.
Because nothing says romance like communism.
Thank you. Romance and culture. Now, here's something that you need to hear, and I don't know that we're going to be able to get it in. Pat George, how much time do we have left?
You've got about 3 minutes.
Okay, we do have enough. I got to play this for you. You ought to look this up. A gentleman named Yuri Bezmenov was a KGB agent who defected to the USA many, many years ago in the late 70s or early 80s. And in 1984, he did an interview with G. Edward Griffin that's on the web that you can find, and he talks about this. Now, remember, this is 4 years before Sanders even went there. See if you recognize what Yuri Bezmenov, the KGB agent, is describing here. Listen carefully.
Back in Moscow, I was immediately recruited by Novosti Press Agency, which is a propaganda and ideological subversion front for the KGB. Another area of activity when I was working for the Novosti was to accompany groups of so-called progressive intellectuals, writers, journalists, publishers, teachers, professors of colleges. Most of them pretended they don't understand that we are actually working on behalf of the Soviet government and the KGB. They pretended that they are actually being guests, VIP intellectuals, that they are treated according to their merits and their intellectual abilities. For us, they were just a bunch of political prostitutes to be taken advantage for various propaganda operations.
Now listen to what he says about keeping them drinking. You'll have to hear this when you watch the Bernie video and all that vodka's on the table. Listen carefully.
Pay special attention to number of bottles on the table. This is one of the ways to kill the awareness or curiosity of foreign journalists. One of my functions was to keep foreign guests permanently intoxicated the moment they land at Moscow airport. I had to take them to the VIP lounge and toast to friendship and understanding between the nations of the world. Glass of vodka, then a second glass of vodka. And in no time, my guests would be feeling very happy. They would see everything in kind of pink, nice color. And that's the way I had to keep them permanently for the next 15 or 20 days. At a certain point in time, I had to withdraw alcohol from them so that some of them who are the most recruitable would feel a little bit shaky, guilty, trying to remember what they were talking last night. That's the time to approach them with all kind of nonsense, such as joint communique or statement for Soviet propaganda.
Okay, there's some more to that. You can go out and listen to it yourself. But did you hear that? The goal of the KGB agents was to keep those fake intellectuals like Bernie Sanders, who would show up over there drunk the whole time they're there, just like the video shows. And that way they could use them for propaganda purposes. Think about that when you want to go vote for Bernie Sanders. He's a communist agent. I'm Morgan Streetman, and that's the way I see it. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.